Hey guys, it's Marco again. Welcome to part 2 of Arcane Mage Guide, with Opener and Rotation. If you didn't watch the first part, I suggest checking it out. I left the link in the description. And let's get straight into it. Arcane Mages are different than other classes. They have burst phases in which they spend a lot of their mana, and they have their mana saving phases in between bursts. So first, let's talk about the big burst phase. That's the phase in which you're using your arcane power. So basically, this is the opener. For solo targets, your big bursts look like this. You precast Touch of the Magi into Heroism plus Arcane Power plus Trinket plus Racial and cast Arcane Missiles if you have Arcane Echo talented. If you don't have Arcane Echo, cast Arcane Blasts. Basically, you will be spamming Arcane Missiles into the Touch of the Magi if talented, and Arcane Blasts if you don't have Arcane Echo talent. But at the end of every Touch of the Magi, you want to slip in 3 Arcane Blasts paired with Presence of the Mind. So, Touch of the Magi, Arcane Power plus Arcane Missiles, Arcane Missiles, Arcane Missiles, Presence of Mind plus Arcane Blast, Arcane Blast, Arcane Blast. After that point, just spam Arcane Blasts, and when you get clear casting, just throw Arcane Missiles. After the Arcane Power drops, throw down a Rune of Power and continue blasting Arcane Blasts and Missiles when you get the proc. Do this until you run out of mana. When out of mana, use Evocation. Now you come in your mana saving phase, and basically at this moment you want to spam Arcane Blasts until you're under 70% mana. At that point, do Arcane Barrage followed by 4 Arcane Blasts into Arcane Barrage. Cast Arcane Orb here as well. You can cast it as long as you have 0 to 2 arcane charges, so you don't overcap yourself. Fish for clear casting procs before your burst periods. You can always go out on a limb and start saving them a lot before your burst, since every time you get a new clear casting proc, it will refresh to full duration. I don't recommend this, but this may improve your DPS if you get a bit lucky. And in 30 seconds you're getting to your first mini burst phase. Mini burst phase is when you have Touch of the Magi and Rune of Power ready. Mini burst phase is almost the same as the opener. Rune of Power into Touch of the Magi, Arcane Missiles from clear casting, then spam Arcane Blast or Arcane Missiles depending on your talent. After Touch of the Magi is over, continue spamming Arcane Blasts and clear casted Arcane Missiles. When the Rune of Power depletes, enter mana saving phase again. I just need to note that you can use Presence of Mind here again if it's going to be up for your Arcane Power. Now I'm going to do a bit longer demonstration. And unlike Fire Mages, I don't think that I need to slow down the video for you to understand it.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
AoE Burst and Rotation. AoE with Arcane is quite simple but fun. Also I'll mention that AoE is 3 targets or more. My burst phase goes like this. Precast Touch of the Magi, Arcane Power, Arcane Barrage, Arcane Orb, Arcane Barrage, Arcane Explosion times 4, into Arcane Barrage, and that's it. After the Arcane Power expires, just do a new Rune of Power and continue spamming Explosions and Arcane Barrage. Use Arcane Orb off cooldown. It's not a hard rotation, but it's a hella fun one. Also, it's very hard to lose mana like this, so you're gonna have a lot of time before you deplete your mana, but as soon as you deplete your mana, just use Evocation. Your mini burst is again Rune of Power into Arcane Barrage, Touch of the Magi, Arcane Barrage, Arcane Orb, Arcane Barrage, Arcane Explosion spam. Here's a small demonstration. And lastly, how to use Covenant abilities. It's pretty easy actually. You want to cast all the Covenant abilities before your opener except Night Fae one. So replace precast Touch of the Magi with Radiant Spark, Mirrors of Torment or Deadborn. And then cast Touch of the Magi and do everything normal. Of course, the exception in AoE is Necrolords. You just want to spam Arcane Blasts while you have Deadborn up. One thing to look out for when playing Kyrian is that you shouldn't cast Arcane Missiles once you cast Radiant Spark, since they're just going to eat your damage buff. And lastly, for Night Fae Covenant ability Shifting Power. For me, it's ideal to cast it after the first evocation. And after that point, cast it whenever it's off cooldown and when you're not in your burst phase. And that's all for the video. I hope you learned something about the ways of Arcane. Again, I'm sorry for splitting the guide in 2 videos. But overall, if you found this video useful, please leave a like and consider subscribing. Thank you, and until next time, take care.